Let's hear your best Christopher Walken.
I can't do Chris. I'm not good at.
See, that would have been a perfect line. I'm not good at being Christopher Walken.
I'm not bad. I'm not bad at Bane.
At Bane? Well, at Bane is easy.
Dude, let's hear your Bane.
Oh, God, doesn't matter. What matters is our plan.
Nobody cared who I was before I put on the mask.
No, you just went country.
No, I did not.
You definitely went a little country.
I did not go country.
I can, not to be egotistical or something, but I'm pretty sure my Bane is a little bit better than yours was right there. But then again, I got nothing better to do with my time than fuck around with voices and stuff. We're back. We took a little vacation last week, even though I worked.
It wasn't really a vacation.
Oh, cheers. Cheers.
Bada bing, bada boom. Too bad.
Oh, that is some good water. So, yeah, so last week I was gone. I went to L.A. for the Karate Combat fight. If you guys watched it on Fight Pass, it was actually quite the event. It was a little bit of a quick turnaround. I was there for a couple of days, but it was definitely quick.
It didn't seem like a quick turnaround. You were there like
no,
5 days.
The fights were quick. Like the whole setup to go to the fights and stuff was quick. But I stayed. Excuse me. I stayed a couple of days after just to hang out. I have some friends out there that I haven't seen in a while, so I had to stop. And then I ended up in Disneyland, which was on my bucket list of places to go. It was definitely an experience, to say the least.
Now, you said they still have 20,000 leagues, or they don't have 20,000
So they
leagues?
technically do not still have 20,000 leagues into the sea. They have the ride itself, but it's changed to Finding Nemo.
So you get into
the same submarine.
The Nautilus submarine?
They changed it, okay? That's the other thing, because remember, the Nautilus submarine had like a horn in the front and stuff like that.
Well, it was metal, yeah.
Yeah, but so they changed it. It looks more modern. Like, it looks like the yellow submarine from the Beatles is what it looks like. Yeah, I know. So, but it was actually pretty cool, man. It was, I'm trying to boost up my volume here a little bit. But no, it was a pretty good ride. Let me tell you about the fights, though, because the fights were pretty fucking nutty. So, I get to L.A., go to my hotel, like, the very next morning. I got to get up and start working. I didn't really get any time to, like, chill out. Weigh-ins were Wednesday night, so I'm hanging out with Boss and Shawn Wheelock, taking random photos and stuff like that. Now, the whole thing was that Danny Trejo was making his debut as a fight announcer. So he was basically their version of Bruce Buffer.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. What his role was.
So yeah, and it was actually really, really cool. I really urge you guys to go and check it out. I mean, I'm not getting paid any extra for telling you this, but go check it out, because so what they did is they basically had him kind of be like the Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat, where he's like, fighters, fight, like kind of thing, you know? But it was super cool. So I think they kind of, not messed up, but I think they kind of just misjudged the timing on certain things. So they had like 2 or 3 fights first, and then I guess they went into the main card, and that's when like Danny came down. So there's a pit, like blood sport looking pit, right? And then behind it there was me taking photos, and behind me was Danny Trejo on the stage. So he comes out at the beginning of the fight, announces the fighters fight, and goes, and then he announces the fighters at the end who won. So after the first couple of fights, he comes down, sets up, and it starts facing me. So I'm snagging pictures like crazy. I got a couple of photos I got to show you. I didn't send you all of them. And then they go super cinematic, which is what I really love about Karate Combat. They go for the real, like, cinematic style for it. So they have the camera on a crane, zoomed in on him. They start shooting out all the smoke, and it's like, this is Karate Combat, and then it shoots out and everyone starts cheering and stuff like that. So it was a really cool presentation. Then he comes back out, fights start back up again. I kind of feel like they should have done that at the beginning to really set the mood, but I can see where they were waiting for more and more people to come in. So there was a lot of celebrities. Craziest thing, did I tell you about who showed up? Frank Shamrock showed up.
Oh, yes, you did tell me Frank Shamrock
So
showed up.
I didn't tell you what happened.
I told you what my dream is.
What?
To talk to him like he's Frank Stallone.
Oh, that's right. He'd probably punch you in the face. Super nice guy, though. He's a super nice dude. He came in with Mauro Ranallo, and there was somebody else. So here's the funny part. So mind you, I'm still at my spot behind the pit, out looking at all the crowd because the show hasn't started yet. And I see him, like, I see a guy in a hat, and he won't stop fucking eating. He just won't stop eating. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And then I notice from far away, okay, well, the other guy's Mauro Ranallo. I know that's a fighter, but I can't tell who it is because, like, the hat was covering his face. So I walk up, snag some photos. I realize it's Frank Shamrock. I'm like, oh, shit, Frank Shamrock's here. Boss is right there. So I'm watching, and Frank, like, Boss was on a balcony. He was like on a little balcony to the side.
Like for those of you at the Alex texted me and goes, they legit look like the grumpy old men from the Muppet Show.
Yeah, from the Muppet Show. So, like, I mean, depending on how old you guys are, if you ever see the Muppets, look up their names. I always forget their names. So if you ever saw the Muppets from back in the day, there was always these two old guys that would talk shit from a balcony. So anytime they would, like, the show would start, they'd sit there and make some random wisecrack. So, and that's kind of pretty much everybody's favorite characters, really.
Right.
So, funny enough, so I'm taking photos of Shawn and Boss, and I'm like, you guys understand what the joke is? Like, you know what the joke that's going around is right now, right? He's like, Boss is like, what are you talking about? I'm like, everybody's saying you guys look like the two grumpy guys from the Muppets. And he's like, and they all start laughing. And he's like, wait a minute, you're saying we're like the old guys. I'm like, not my words. Everybody else's. I'm just letting you know so it's not behind your back. And they're just cracking up. So we're fucking joking around about it. So anyway, yeah, Frank Shamrock shows up. And I see him, like, he's eating, bro. He was just stuffing his fucking face nonstop. I'm like, where he's even getting this food from, I don't know. But he was eating nonstop. So mid-bite, he looks up, and I see him just like waving his arms, like saying, like, hey, what's going on? And he's looking up at Boss.
Oh, yeah.
So mind you, remember, they had a history. So the whole time he's like, hey, he's like waving to him and stuff. And Boss being a super cool guy, he has a spotlight in his face, can't really see who it is, but he just sees that someone's waving at him.
So he waves back.
So he waves back. He's like,
he's boss rude.
Yeah. The king's gonna wave back to the people. So he's sitting there waving, and then he's like squinting, trying to see who it is, and he realizes it's Frank. He's like, oh shit. Gets down, starts running down, and goes up, gives him a hug, says hi and stuff. It was really cool. I'm like, oh shit, about to go down? Are we going old school right now? And then no, they're friends now. So it was kind of cool to see. Considering, you know, obviously the history that they had. But other than that, man, it was the first couple of fights were knockouts. And then as the night kept going on, they got tougher and tougher. There was a couple of tough dudes there. They were definitely eating some shots. One dude got knocked out. Damn, I forget the guy's name. And we talked a bunch. But one dude got knocked out in like 30 seconds. Right kick to the face. Right kick to the dome.
Was that the one you sent me the picture of, or
no? I think I sent you another one. There was a couple of like kicks to the dome. There's a lot of
like
guys.
You said the guy was
up.
like he just dipped, like it said it was. I think the description he said like the guy threw something and he just dipped and popped.
No, I mean that's kind of what happened, but it happened a lot during the night. Like I showed you the one of the guy going for the takedown, getting punched in the face.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you guys want to go to Sonder Marketing to my page, you'll see I posted a bunch of photos. You can go check out Karate Combat. They posted a ton of my photos up there. Shout out to Karate Combat. Thank you again for having me out there. I'll be posting like a couple of selects at some point this week, but it was definitely a fun time. And then after the show, I went out to eat. I ran into, or my friend from the Dirty Heads, Shawn, popped up, and he's like, hey, you want to go grab something to eat? I'm like, sure, let's go. So I just jump in his car. We're talking, catching up. I haven't seen him in like 3 years, 4 years. And he's like, we're driving for like 20 minutes. I'm like, dude, where the fuck we going? You know, whatever. He's like, oh, it's a soul food spot. I haven't been there in a while. I really, really like it. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm always down for some soul food, whatever.
I don't think I've ever had soul food.
You probably haven't had legitimate soul food.
No, I haven't. Like, that's not something I would be like, hey, let's go have some soul food. Like, unless you count Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles as soul food.
It's not like home soul food, but it's good soul food. Like, it's cookie cutter soul food, if you will.
What do you mean cookie cutter?
Like it's not. It's a franchise. It's not like you're
It's not
going.
like a franchise.
It's a franchise. There was a Roscoe's in California.
That's where they started.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They're all over the place.
No, I've never only seen them in California.
That's still like in and out. It's still a franchise. If
No, I
there's
don't
more
think
than
so.
like 2 or 3, it's a franchise.
I think there's only like 3 Roscoe's
You see
Chicken
there?
and Waffles.
No, because there's one in Vegas for sure. I know there's one in Vegas.
I don't know.
Anyway, so we're driving and like I was all right, cool, whatever. We're going to get soul food, whatever. And then I asked him a question. I'm like, oh, so how's business going on the managing stuff? And then he like doesn't even answer me. He just interrupts. He's like, all right, what did he say?
Full disclosure.
Full disclosure, yeah. He's like, all right, full disclosure. We're kind of going to Skid Row. I'm like, what? Like, you can't just throw that into a conversation. And on the way to the car, I'm like, I must have pissed off my friend here because he's about to throw me to the wolves. I'm like, how close to Skid Row? He's like, oh, it's only like a street over. I'm like, whatever, man.
Did you drive by it?
Yeah. We drove past it.
Did you see all the tents?
Oh, yeah, they're everywhere. They're trying to clean it up. They were telling me that they were trying to clean up the area, but they were fucking everywhere.
What are they going to do? How are they going to clean it up? They're going to scoot them out of there? Where are they going to go?
Basically, that's what they're trying to do anyway. They're trying to kind of like push them out of the way, send them off to other cities and stuff. But anyway, we ended up at it was called Comfort Food, and it is
Was
fucking
it spelled with a C or K?
C. And then you walk in. So mind you walk in, super chill. Everyone's really nice. The food is pretty good. But on the wall, they have Simpsons characters painted as black instead of like yellow. So it's like, okay, black Simpsons characters. I've never seen that before. That's kind of cool.
What do you mean? There's plenty of black Simpsons.
No. Like Homer and Marge were painted as black characters instead of white, which I was like, oh, that's cool. That's a different rendition. It'd be cool. And then there was like Uncle Ruckus from the Boondocks. I'm like, shit, I would love to have an Uncle Ruckus painting in my house. It'd be so fucking amazing.
Uncle Ruckus.
But this, like, look, man, if you're ever in LA and you get time, definitely go check out Comfort Food. It was pretty good. All we had was just buffalo wings, cornbread, and collard greens. That was all.
You said that's all they had.
That's all they had. I'm saying, I think there was mac and cheese too, but we didn't get it. But it was a cool spot, man. The people there are super nice. The food was good. It wasn't too expensive, and whatever. Came back the next day. I spent the whole day editing and working, so that's always the pain.
You shit on the cornbread.
The cornbread wasn't like the best, but it was still okay.
How do you like your cornbread?
Honestly, my favorite cornbread of all time, Kenny Rogers Roasters cornbread.
I don't remember Kenny Rogers Roasters.
It was the best. That or Boston Market.
Oh, see, I don't like those. Those are cakey.
Yeah.
My favorite cornbreads are
the crumbly kind.
Well, I guess it would be. It's not really. Yeah, where it's like I like the kind that they serve at Cracker Barrel. That like
right
is dry. I like it dry and like gritty.
No,
that's how I like my cornbread.
I mean I'm assuming that's probably more traditional cornbreadish style, but I like mine cakey. Like those Kenny Rogers. Oh man,
have you ever had the cornbread at Smoky Bones?
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
That one's like a legit cake. It comes out in like a skillet.
Yeah, no, that one's pretty good. I haven't had like legitimate cornbread in a while though. Even though I know that Kenny Rogers wasn't the best, I fucking love that place.
Hey, look, sometimes it doesn't matter if it's the best.
That place was so good, man.
Boston Market bought all the Kenny Rogers roasters.
Did they?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why. And then they just took over the locations, changed it to Boston Market.
I guess so. I mean, there was only like a handful down here. Kenny Rogers is the man. He's still alive somehow.
He looks like a lesbian woman.
Yeah, he looks.
It's so funny when these stars start getting
that plastic
surgery, and like their face is so pulled back that it's shiny.
You know who fixed his? Rob Lowe. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention Cobra Kai was at the tournament. Shout out to Cobra Kai. I forget his name now. The actor that played the sensei from Cobra Kai. He was there.
John Cleese.
No, it's not John. John Cleese is from Monty Python.
It's something Crease, maybe Crease.
Colby or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, he was there. Cobra Kai sensei was there.
Yeah, John Cleese is the
Monty Python. Yeah, no, but he was, bro. He came out in like a Sergeant Pepper jacket. He had like an old like Admiral like jacket. Fucking, you could tell he was definitely wearing a little bit of makeup and had a facelift or two. I didn't get a photo with him, but he was taking photos with everybody. Super cool. I did, however, get a photo of someone very exciting that I thought was a once in a lifetime opportunity. He is legendary in the world of MMA and a little bit in boxing. I'm sure if you've been around MMA long enough, you are very well aware of the name Cecil Peoples. Do you know Cecil Peoples?
I know who Cecil People is.
So for those of you who don't know who Cecil People is, he is regarded by many as probably one of the worst refs in MMA. Yeah, Martin Cove, that was his name.
Yeah, but look what the character's name was.
John Neese.
Crease.
Crease, Neese. I see K-N-E.
K-R-E.
Oh, Crease. That's probably where you got it from.
Yeah, so I knew it was something along those lines. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, regarded as probably one of the worst refs in MMA. Super nice fucking guy, though. So I can't really talk shit, even though, I mean, I really could, and I kind of want to, but it's funny because I told you, but I'll say it again. So what happens is when I post it up to take photos, I'm usually like somewhere near the refs. Now, where I first posted up, I got mobbed by everybody. Just a little like thing for photographers out there, for people that are trying to be photographers. Here's my tip. Don't take it how you want it. Don't fucking stand next to each other. If you're trying to get the best photos, sometimes you will have to stay because it might be the best spot. But if you want to stand out, don't stand next to everybody else. It's fucking stupid. Why would you want to stand next to everybody else?
The same shot.
You're getting the exact same fucking shot. So I was like, fuck this. And then, of course, I was there an hour early. Stake my spot. This is my spot. Anybody else can go fuck themselves. So wouldn't you know, they put a ref right next to me. And this ref is super sick. He's just sitting there like sneezing and like just not even blowing his nose. It was so fucking disgusting. So I'm like, fuck this. I'm out. I'm going to go over here. So I switched spots. You've become
such a germaphobe. It's so funny.
Oh, dude, I got a shitty like immune system, so I have to start keeping an eye on it. So I move, and then I end up posting up next to a different ref. And I'm like, man, this guy looks fucking familiar. Like, I know he looks fucking familiar. So I'm sitting there the whole time taking photos. Once in a while, say something to the ref, like whatever. And then like, man, I know his fucking face. And for whatever reason, the name like Cecil Peoples kept on popping up into my head. I was like, no, but that's not what he looked like. That's not what he looked like. And then I realized, well, all the photos that I looked at or that I know him from are from fights from a long time ago. So I'm like, oh shit, let me just look it up. And sure enough, I was like, I fucking knew it. It's Cecil Peoples. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta get a photo with this guy. So fight's over. Everybody's picking up. I was like, well, sir, it was great working next to you. My name's Alexis. He's like, hi, I'm Cecil. I'm like, oh, I'm very well aware of who you are. And he just started smiling. I'm like, can I get a photo with you? He's like, yeah, sure. Super fucking nice. Take a photo, shake hands, and I'm on my way.
Was Martin Cove or whatever Cove, was he the only celebrity?
No, there was a whole bunch of celebrities. Lyoto Machida was there, Fabricio Verdum.
No, I don't mean MMA celebrities.
Supposedly,
fuck MMA celebrities. I want to talk about real celebrities.
Well, there was a couple of fake YouTube celebrities that were a joke. There was actually supposedly Olivia Munn was there, and I didn't get to see her. Which, like, you have no idea how big of a crush I have on Olivia Munn. Like, I would have thrown people from the balconies if it would have gotten me closer to Olivia Munn. But I guess she was there. I was too busy taking photos. Didn't get to meet her. There was a couple of other people, but I didn't really get to talk to anyone. Once I get into work mode, I'm super fucking focused. So I don't. And at the end of the day, I'm not really starstruck by anybody. It's not like I'll never see Fabricio Verdum or Lyoto Machida at any point in time or something. You know, with all the people that we hang around with. So it was cool, man. It was a really, really good event. I'm actually gonna go back and watch it again on UFC Fight Pass just because it's tough to pay attention to really like soak it all in when I'm focusing on taking photos. I love the fights, and I'm obviously, you know me, like I can analyze all these people, so I know I'm too busy reading the fights to see what's going on to kind of experience it. So it's cool. Disneyland was good.
What's funny is you know, normally as a jiu-jitsu player, we tend to think karate's like,
yeah.
Let's just be honest. We kind of make fun of karate
for sure.
It's like, all right, awesome. You can throw 47 front kicks and
stand and 2 punches.
But at the same time, I'd still respect it as a martial art. It's got its place. It's got some. Definitely, it's got some moves that you can To me, what makes a martial art is if you can translate it to a street scenario.
Right.
And there are some things that you can bring over from karate that definitely can translate to the street, but a lot of it is kind of. But what's cool is this showcases the fact that. Well, if in a straight up fight, it shows more of a practicality, I think.
I don't know if it's as much of a practicality as much as it just shows the true capability of the martial art. Because, I mean, we look at it from an aspect of, okay, well, you're talking about MMA. Okay, fine. But you never really see, outside of, like, point karate, you never really see a application of karate. Maybe Lyoto Machida had like a couple of good like spots where you saw
had a style, and
but Lyoto, but like Wonder Boy came from more of a point karate system and kickboxing like system. Lyoto was more traditional karate, on how he did like his stance and like how his movements were,
his blitzes,
and yeah, well even his counters and stuff, and like everything comes into one punch, but it's a super precise punch, like the kick that he did against Vitor, like he was there. So you see him, like if you watch the video, he does a hip fake just to gauge what the reaction is, waits, bam, and just throws it instant. So that's kind of like the way it is. So to see it in a more like street fighting scenario, or really it's like, okay, this is a fight, this is what's gonna happen, and it's not gonna get Hollywoodish where you see like flips and all this other stuff. Like it definitely has its merit. It's also like very evident on some of the weaknesses that it has because of how you throw punches. There's no one that really says keep your hand up. They always do this. They'll throw like a weird block or whatever, but no one ever really just throws like keeps a hand up next to the face like you would if you were doing Muay Thai or boxing or something like that. So it's kind of cool to see. It's cool to see the purity of the fights, but there's the very clear evidence of why you need to have other martial arts within your like Rolodex.
Right.
Because what they did is you're allowed to have a takedown and you only get 5 seconds to do work when the person's on the floor. But how you get the takedown is also a big factor on it. You can't just do like a hip toss and whatever. It has to be like you came in, you just kind of like spun them, I guess. It's kind of like a weird, there's no real dead clear line on how you get the takedown. But you can tell how many people that are just strictly karate, they start getting hit and they're kind of like, they go into panic mode where they know they got to clinch and come in and go for like a takedown, but they have no takedown. They have no grappling. They don't understand the intricacies of your foot movement, your hip movement in a close quarters. You see what I'm saying?
No, I get it.
So like the clinching, like for a lot of the guys fighting, the clinching was make or break. So a lot of guys would panic and clinch, and then the other person you could tell had even just a little bit more wrestling or jiu-jitsu or judo in their Rolodex, and they went flying. That other person went flying. Like, and then a couple of people got thrown.
And then how long do you have while they're on the ground?
They get 5 seconds. They got 5 seconds of ground and pound and kick. I have a photo sequence. I forget the kid's name. I want to say Alexandra. Or no, it was Luis Rocha. Luis Rocha. He knocked his dude down, Tulubev, I believe, and he's kind of on his back. The guy was on his back, and Luis came, axe kick, over his guard, down onto his face, and just basically just cemented his face into the ground.
Really?
Yeah. I'll show you the photo. I got the whole sequence of it. It's pretty crazy.
Did it knock him out?
No. So here's what I found out afterwards. His opponent broke his arm in the first round, and there's 3 rounds. He fought all 3 rounds with a broken left arm.
That's a tough motherfucker.
And like in karate, that's like your main punch. Obviously, it's a jab, but I mean, it's still your main punch. And he went all 3 rounds, so props to him. But that was it, man. The fights were awesome. Check them out. You'll see me in there for sure. Disneyland was cool. Way smaller than what I expected. Way fucking smaller. If I wanted to, I could easily have thrown a baseball over the castle.
The whole Disneyland is small?
It's small. It's small. It's like in the middle of Anaheim.
Right. So how much, like, compared to the Magic Kingdom in Disney World?
I would say that you could fit all of Disneyland onto between Frontierland and where the castle like touches like Frontierland. You could fit like all of that in there.
Yeah, I think that's Frontier and Adventureland.
Yeah. So it's pretty small. It's pretty small. But I got to do a couple of rides that I always wanted to go to. The Indiana Jones ride was super dope. They have a ride. They don't have a show.
How do you do a ride?
It's so fucking cool. It's so fucking awesome. Like you go into the eye of the Temple of the Hidden Eye, I think it was called or whatever. So you get on the car and you're going, and all of a sudden you got to get away, and obviously everything's shaking. The car's on like some major hydraulics because you can see it at one point. Is it
glasses 3D kind of a thing?
No. You're just sitting in the car and you're driving around and stuff, and then, like you're going through the temple. There's like a giant snake that comes at you, and then at one point you get the boulder. You have to like run away from the boulder, and like it's funny. It's really cool. There's one part you come up, and all of a sudden Indiana Jones drops from the roof, and he's like right there, like within reaching distance. He's like, "Let me get in, make some space, let me get in," like trying to get into the car.
Is it just some actor?
No. It's just a machine. It's just a robot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. A robot drops down, but I mean, it looks super real. And it's like, let me get in the car, make some room.
Do you remember Terminator?
Yeah, that was a good ride.
Where was that at? Was that
Universal?
Was that at Universal?
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't a ride. That was a show.
It was just a show. No, but they had him like on a
motorcycle.
motorcycle
In from the ceiling.
Yeah, well, that was real people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And well, they had the motorcycle on a track, but he could still ride it.
Yeah.
No, that one was like pretty cool, but they got rid of it.
Yeah,
I was kind of surprised.
I don't know if Epcot still has Captain EO.
No, they got rid of it. Now it's a Star Wars ride. Which, speaking of which, I got to see the new Star Wars land over there. Yeah, I was about to like, because they're having like a whole Star Wars world added onto Disney. You didn't know that?
In California.
In California and here.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, I got to see it. It's fucking nutty, man. It's like you see Tatooine. Like I saw Jabba's palace and stuff. It was fucking dope. So it's in the back. They're adding it. So Big Thunder Mountain, like at the top of like the highest peak, all of a sudden you look and you can see it. I can't fucking wait. It looks cool. It looked really cool. I was going to go back on there just to try and snag a photo to send it to you, but the line got too crazy. It was so fucking dope, though.
That would have been risky.
I would have done it. It would have been easy.
Pulling out your phone on a ride is always risky.
I've done it before. I did the teacup ride for the first time ever.
I'll never do a teacup ride.
I'll never do it. It was the worst
Fuck
idea.
teacups.
It's the fucking worst.
Anything that makes you dizzy, I'm not going on.
It was the worst. This is the worst fucking feeling ever. So, yeah, I'm never doing that again. Other than that, it was cool. The rides are good. I'd probably do it again if I had more time because there's another park attached to it, like Disney Adventureland Park or something like that. But it was cool.
The Matterhorn is at...
Yeah, that's still there.
At Disney.
Yeah, at Disneyland. Yeah, it's cool. You just go down a circle. Yeah, you're just going down in a fucking circle. That's all it is. Like, they try to make it like the Yeti, like Mount Everest Yeti. All they did was just add a Yeti yelling at you. Otherwise, you're just literally, you go all the way to the top, and then you come down in a circle. That's super. It. Yeah, that's all it is. It's really... Space Mountain is scary as shit, though.
Why? Scarier than
the one here? The one here is not scary. It's a joke. You can see everything. Over there, it's pitch fucking black. Bro, I was screaming. I was legitimately screaming because it's super fast, and it's pitch black, so you can't see anything. Like it's how the Space Mountain here used to be. You can't see a damn thing.
Yeah, Space Mountain used to be pitch black.
No, this one's pitch black, and they don't put you in a single row. You get side by side with people.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's super fast, and like I noticed that some of the rides in Disneyland have like little extra sections that Disney World doesn't. So like the Space Mountain had like cool extra like special effects. Like the one that we have here is kind of crappy in comparison. But enough talking about Disneyland. I got a bunch of news to actually go over.
Now we get to the jiu-jitsu portion of the Jiu-Jitsu Radio podcast.
Yeah, that was actually my trip. It was good. Glad to see a bunch of my friends that I haven't seen. Shout out to Shawn and Heather. We got some fun stuff. Do you want to go to the breaking news? Should we go?
Is this the big news you were talking about?
This is the big news that I was talking to you about. You ready?
Ready.
Just reported on SportsCenter, Khabib Nurmagomedov is done fighting in Nevada due to the 1-year suspension they handed his teammates Abubakar Nurmagomedov and Zubaira Tukhugov today. His manager Ali Abdelaziz told ESPN he will also not fight under their suspensions until their suspensions are over and is now targeting a return to action at MSG in November. Nurmagomedov will also pay their $25,000 fines. Doesn't end there. Also stated, for their roles in the UFC 229 post-fight brawl, the NAC has ruled Khabib Nurmagomedov suspended 9 months and fined $500,000.
Dang.
Conor McGregor suspended 6 months and fined $50,000. If Nurmagomedov does an anti-bullying PSA in Nevada, the suspension could be reduced to 6 months.
But he's still paying $500K.
But he's still paying $500K.
That's fucking bullshit. What do they do? So here's the thing. Fuck athletic commissions. Fuck 'em.
Oh, for sure. Fuck it.
Fuck them. What do they do with that fucking money?
Oh, they pocket it.
They pocket that motherfucking
Everybody knows
money.
they pocket it.
I think it's fucking bullshit. Their whole thing.
No, they're like they try to act like the mafia. They'll make you come up. That's what happened with Chael. They'll make you come up and like sit there and basically bow to them, and whatever, kiss their feet and pay your little fine, and maybe they'll lower the suspension. But if you try and fight back, they'll be like, okay, fucking pay us. That's what happened. Chael will even tell you about it. He did like a whole like segment on his podcast talking about it. It's like, I went in, I kissed their feet, I did what I needed to do, and at the end of the day, like they only.
It's a fucking racket. It's
no,
like
for
it's
sure.
Like,
it's Vegas, bro. It's all a racket.
No, but it's not. Every city, every state has an athletic commission. It makes no sense. It's antiquated. Having an athletic.
It's not antiquated. It's corrupt. Because it could do a lot of good.
The system is antiquated. I don't mean we need somebody that oversees
the commissions.
Well, not the commissions. We need people that oversee combat sports or sports in general.
There should be one general commission, like across the board for the country. It shouldn't be separated state by state.
Right. Well, I don't mind the state by state. I don't even mind that. But
no, because if you have it by the country, then you can have the unified rules, and then it stops being like confusing rules. Oh well, if you fight in Nevada, this is legal, but if you do it in Texas, it's illegal.
I just don't think they shouldn't have the power that they do have.
For sure. But you have to. I mean, someone's got to put them on. You know, someone's got to say these are the rules. That's why. That's all it's for. It's so someone can say, "Oh, what are the rules?" Okay, this is the third party that tells us the rules that you and I are going to be fighting.
Right. That's what they should. That's their job, is to tell you the rules. These are the rules, and I could even see having to get a license to compete under them. I'm fine with that too.
But that's the other thing. Like half the fighters always forget their license. Like,
well, whatever. That's on them.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm just saying.
not talking about idiot fighters. I'm talking about the commissions themselves.
Yeah.
Like I'm okay paying to join their athletic commission. I'm okay with them dictating rules. What I'm not okay with is how much power they have. They should have a limit to their power.
But someone has to have. There has to be someone.
$500,000 fucking dollars.
I mean, Khabib jumped out and assaulted people.
I understand, but you know who should ask for money or get money? Who should fine them? Should be the UFC.
They're not. Why? Why would they fine them? That made them so much money.
No, I understand that, but
that jump into the crowd made Khabib the star instead of the fight.
They don't have the power that they have. It's like I don't think they should get the money. I think the money should,
I got some other news that's connected to that, though.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it on here anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Let me pull it up here. Where did it go? The GOAT has been released by the UFC. Do you know that? Artem Lobov.
Artem Lobov.
He asked to be released, and the UFC said, have fun. And now Artem is a free agent looking to find a new boss. So he could go to Bellator. He's going to go to ONE FC.
But is he a draw?
I don't think so. Artem is nowhere near a draw.
I don't think Artem's a draw.
But
he's tough. Is he one of the toughest guys? Yeah. But
I don't think he's that good. But what I think is really going on here between Conor getting fined, Khabib getting fined, and Artem being let go. Artem said he wanted to be let go, but the UFC could have easily said, no, we want you to stay. If Artem's gone, then you got less of a beef between Conor and Khabib, because that doesn't come up in the storyline anymore. Because remember, Khabib slapped the shit out of Artem.
I looked at this. It wasn't really
He slapped him pretty good.
It was more
and
like
Artem bitched out.
Yeah, Artem.
Look, I don't care if it's fucking...
I'll take the ass whooping.
Bro, I don't care if it's Yokozuna. If someone's slapping me like that, corner me and slapping at me, we're fucking throwing.
Yeah.
Like, shit's going to hit the fan.
Like, I'm going to snap.
For sure.
And it's going to be terrible. And it might be terrible for me.
Yeah, it might go either way, but I'm not going to fucking
if you
get
slap
slapped.
me, punch me, you'd have a better chance of me not fighting back if you punch me.
Why?
Like, if you punch me and I just went, are you serious? Because a punch...
So I could randomly just come up to you and punch you in the face and you're not going to do shit?
No, I didn't say that. I said you'd have a better chance of me not fighting you back if you punch me than if you slap me. If
Why?
you slap me, slapping
it's a gauntlet?
No, slapping is emasculating.
For sure.
There. You're such a bitch that I'm not even going to punch you. That's what that means.
I guess.
That's to me. That's what a slap is. So like,
either way, if you're putting your hands on me, regardless of what matter,
unless I'm doing combat jiu-jitsu,
we're talking about
is different. I'm talking about man on man.
Yeah,
like, 1-on-1.
Would you do a combat jiu-jitsu tournament? I don't think you would. I don't think you have it in you.
All right, we'll see.
Are you gonna do it?
No, I didn't say that.
I mean, dudes at our size are throwing pretty heavy hands.
There are things in the works, and I'll explain.
Oh, come on!
I'll explain someday.
Well, that someday, that could be 20 years from now.
No.
It's gonna be in a combat
There are
jiu-jitsu.
things in the works for 2019. Let's just put it that way.
Is it gonna be a legitimate match or is it gonna be a wrestling match?
No, it'll be a legit combat.
Why are you looking that way? Don't look that way. Say
not
to
looking
my eyes.
anyway.
So why you just look down? Look at my face and tell me.
I want you to tell me. A legit. See,
now you're stuttering. Now I know you're full of shit.
It will be a legitimate combat jiu-jitsu match.
That's three fucking like outs you had there. I don't know.
Well, I'm telling you, I can't reveal anything yet.
Oh man, that's bullshit.
Maybe next
Isn't that
week,
the whole
who
point
knows?
of this podcast?
Yeah, but I can't reveal this yet because it's not a done deal.
Oh man. All right, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
It could happen. I'm just saying.
Oh, now
happen.
it could.
It's
now
in the
it's
works.
Going to.
I'm not saying it's.
Well, there's
definite.
a lot of shit that's in the works. Doesn't mean it's going to happen.
Well, if this happens, which is pretty good.
Oh God.
A good chance it'll happen.
You'd be the worst politician ever.
Or the best.
Not really.
Did you think about that?
No, not even remotely
I'm
close
really not
to
answering you any questions.
No, you're definitely answering me. It's answering me that it's not going to happen.
No, I don't know if it's not going to happen. I do believe it's going to happen.
You don't know that it's not going to happen, so that means you do know that it's going to happen.
No, I don't know what's going to happen. I just know that it's in the works. And it'll be combat jiu-jitsu.
Well, I got a turd in the works. Doesn't mean it's going to happen right now.
It's not going to happen right now, but it's going to happen eventually.
All right, so peace out to Artem Lobov. No one's gonna remember you in about 6 months.
I don't know. Artem's a fun guy to watch fight. Like he was tougher than he was good.
Like that man could take a punch.
Well, he was always looking to fight. Like when he fought, he wasn't like.
He wasn't a wuss about it.
He wasn't a wuss about it. He wasn't playing defense.
MJ put a good hurting on him, so.
A lot of people put a good hurt on him.
So who else got a hurting put on him this weekend? AJ Agazam got his butt whooped at Bellator 214. He called it an embarrassing, clumsy disaster.
That's what he called it?
So that's what it was called. I definitely called that. I just watched the highlights.
I thought that's what AJ called it.
So what AJ said, which class act to him for posting this up after the fight, he wrote, "Unlike most fighters who save their embarrassing, clumsy disasters for the end of their careers," Agazam joked on Instagram, "I figured I'd just get mine out of the way at the beginning of mine." AJ Agazam, quote, always innovating. So,
I didn't see the fight, so I didn't see what he did.
I only watched the highlights.
I only saw the one picture with him, like
blowing a raspberry.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, he was blowing a raspberry, and then his opponent came up and just like smacked him in the face. AJ didn't even like flinch. He just sat there and took the hit. It's like, okay. So whatever. But he supposedly, I didn't watch it. I saw some highlights.
I think AJ couldn't get the takedown is what.
No, yeah, he couldn't really nail it. He had like back attempts, like the choke attempt a couple of times, and what's his face kept on blocking it. So it wasn't really that much. The highlights for that Bellator card there was Aaron Pico getting knocked out.
Yeah,
and Fedor getting knocked out.
Pico, I saw the Pico had hurt.
Yeah.
Was the guy Guevara? Was that who it was?
No, I forget his name. But yeah, Pico could have won it, and then he got cocky and got caught with a right.
Cocky. He just went nuts, I think.
Well, no, he's like he had him in a clinch. He kneed him, and then the other guy started backing up,
and he rushed in.
Yeah, and then he got caught with a right hand,
he got caught with an uppercut. Wasn't it? Was an uppercut.
No, right. It was. He got two body shots and then a right to the dome. So he got caught in the chin and he just sank. So yeah, I mean, Aaron Pico is awesome. He was actually going to try and be on the podcast. I almost had him on the podcast a year ago, and then we just kind of lost touch. So hopefully we can get him back. Let's see. And what else we got in the news? Oh, this was a good one. Leandro Lo and then Lucas Barbosa will join Buchecha and Gordon Ryan at IBJJF Pro League Heavyweight GP. So
how much is it going to pay him?
$40,000 is the prize.
No-gi?
For, no-gi heavyweight tournament, which is pretty good, man. I mean,
it's about time they got into putting money down.
Look, Gordon against Buchecha would be a good card.
Is it going to be IBJJF rules?
Yeah, it's IBJJF. So it'll be a pretty good match for $40,000.
We've talked about this many times.
Yeah.
But do you foresee IBJJF changing the reaping and heel hook rule?
No.
Why?
I think maybe for super fights they might get to the point where they'll like tweak the rules a little bit, but for the most part IBJJF isn't going to make that drastic of a change. Number one, because they will have to like really concede the rules like that they made like for the last whatever years.
Yeah, but it's 2 rules.
Right, but it's still, notice like a ton of the other ones they haven't really changed except what? The knee bars and like who can do straight ankle locks. That's really it.
Well, it doesn't mean they don't change. It
doesn't mean they don't change, but they never admit that they were really wrong about something, you know?
Well, they don't have to. They just say, well, look, this is... I do... Look, to me...
But the key factor is that amateurs like you and I are going to sit there and being able to still sign up for IBJJF tournaments. So as long as that knee reaping and stuff like that is still good to go or still like no-go on that, they're not going to do it.
But it's bullshit. Have you ever
I don't disagree with you.
Have you ever been knee reaped?
Yeah, I got my meniscus torn because of it.
See, I've never been in danger from a knee reap. Never.
No.
I've never felt in danger of an injury getting knee reaped.
Right, and I'm not disagreeing with you because you're smart enough to know how to move, but that's not the issue. The issue is I was a white belt when a brown belt knee reaped me and tried to heel hook me and tore my MCL.
Well, the heel hook, yes.
Right,
I'm talking about the knee reap itself. Everybody says it puts the knee in a bad position and you can't turn away. But the fact, what happens is when the knee reap happens, normally 9 times out of 10, it turns you.
Yeah, you collapse.
You collapse the way you're supposed to collapse.
Yeah. I don't disagree with you. I definitely think that you should be allowed to knee reap in certain tournaments. But
I think purple belt and above, you should knee reap and heel hook everywhere.
Right, which would be good, but the fact of the matter is, with the scale that the IBJJF does their tournaments, the amount of people that they have to see every week and compete, it is too much of a liability for them to allow that. Like, it's just too much. It's too much to...
But what's the difference between a heel hook and a Kimora?
Are you going to allow white belts to heel hook?
No.
Are you going to allow white belts to knee reap?
No.
So then,
So like I'm
how,
not even asking.
But you can't. The tough part is you can't separate that rule by
you
belt
can
ranking.
because they do it now with knee bars and twist and like twisting.
But then
ankle
remember,
locks.
it's the one ref that all they have to do is, okay, well, now you can knee bar or you can do ankle locks in certain aspects. Once you start adding knee reaping and leg locks and stuff like that to the spazzier people, then you're really asking for too much from these refs.
But again, at the same time, a heel hook and a Kimora really aren't that much different.
I mean, I agree with you. I think
both are dangerous. Now, again, the argument I can go with is that having a broken leg is worse than having a broken arm.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's a limb's a limb.
You know what I think it is? It's remnants of the old school way of thinking for IBJJF where they're like, oh, well, leg locks are illegal. Like anything below the waist was illegal, right?
Do you know why?
Well, because they didn't do it.
No, because Luta Livre guys
would come in and just fucking
come in
and
smoke the traditional jiu-jitsu.
Right. So that's what I'm saying.
Guys.
I think it's remnants of that being left over and like having to admit, okay, like we can do it. I think it'll be probably 10 years. Like at some point within the next 10 years.
Because as much as leg locks are making their way into the
Can you grab that mosquito that's behind you?
No.
Right there.
Go.
All right.
I don't remember where I was. You broke my train of thought.
About the IBJJF, I said within the next 10 years.
I like remember I think we've talked about it before. We've talked about how things come and go in jiu-jitsu. Like 50-50 was big.
Yeah.
Like 6 years ago, and then
the bolo.
Then worm guard was big.
Well, only for Keenan.
And then the bolo became big. So all these trends happen in jiu-jitsu that they kind of come and go.
Yeah.
Unless you're Mikey Musumeci and you'll always bolo everybody because you can.
Yeah.
But I don't think the leg lock game is a trend. I just think it's becoming a part of what jiu-jitsu is,
vocabulary.
and it should be a part of the vocabulary.
I don't know. I agree. I think it really comes down to when we started off, and mind you, obviously you started off way earlier than me. Damn, these things are making a super burpee,
yeah, I know, aren't they?
I might have to ease up on them next time. All right, let me get it out of the way. All right, when you and I started off in this game, obviously, like I said, you before I, we have a defined vocabulary of this is what you start off with. This is what you do, right? Kimoras, arm bars, triangles, rear naked chokes, whatever. But it was always that. This is the standardized one. And from an instructor's point of view, this is all the information that you could give someone to have a base in jiu-jitsu, right? That was the foundation that everything was built off of. Now we've gotten to the point where the sport has evolved so much where people understand, okay, well, the foundation for this building needs to be bigger. We need a bigger dictionary to start off with, to have this communication, to have this language. So now we got to add the other half of the body. So I think that the transition is going to be like that, where, yeah, the traditional entry to everything is going to be arm bars, triangles, rear naked chokes, straight ankle locks kind of thing, you know?
Right.
That's really what it should be. That really should be the foundation of everything.
Yeah, I think because I feel terrible in my leg game. Like as in my traditional, jiu-jitsu, I feel like a black belt.
Yeah. In
the leg game, I feel like I should get my black belt back and have to go through a whole new training because it's so involved that there's so many subtleties to it. And if you don't know what you're doing, you feel like an idiot.
I mean, Look, I've been trying for months and months to like work on my straight ankle lock on the setups and finishing, whatever. Always the finishing, obviously, but tonight was the first time I ever nailed one, like quick right off the bat, and it wasn't even right. Instead of doing the traditional like left or like their right leg, my left side, it was their right leg to my right side. So it was really coming across. So it was like a 50-50.
It was a honey hole.
Right. And I just went and I got it. I was like, damn, how did I get that one? But I've never gotten it in like a traditional style. So
What position did you start in?
I was standing and he was trying to go for like De La Hiva.
Did you drop?
And I dropped.
Don't drop next time.
Right. No, and I've tried not to, but for this one I just decided like, fuck it, just go for it because we were having fun. We were just rolling. But I went for it and I blocked the hip with my left leg, like his right hip with my left leg, and I landed. I didn't even have my knees pinched. I was using my right leg. It was almost like a 50-50 kind of position. It was like the setup that I think it was Craig Jones did it in that quintet match where he was like kind of on top and getting it instead of being under and going for it. I'll show you what I mean after. But anyway, that was the whole thing is, you know, it's like I'm going to start throwing it into my game. I have to start putting it in my game. Like, the legs are always there.
Legs need to be in your game.
I see it
you miss a Kimora, you go to the leg.
Right.
You miss you miss an omoplata, go to the leg. The legs are always right there and there's a lot of those things. Even an armbar, missed armbar, a missed triangle. The leg is right there. We're pulling onto the leg anyways. 9 times out of 10, what happens when you go to grab that leg, they'll either pull it back or they'll post it up.
Yeah.
And the leg's right there.
No, I see it almost like wrist locks, where everybody knows it's there, but nobody ever really, really goes for wrist locks. It's like, well, it's there. Why wouldn't I go for it? Fucking go for it. You know?
You need to go for wrist locks and ankles, feet.
Yeah.
It's like we're thinking too big a picture sometimes when it comes to jiu-jitsu.
I think honestly I started looking at it more almost like a catch wrestler mentality of whatever's there is there. I just go for it. So it's like, okay, well, you know, the neck's here. I'm going to go for something for the neck. Oh, the wrist is here. I'm going to go for something for the wrist. It's not the automatic, okay, Kimora, set up, go for it.
Here's the thing is what I've noticed a lot, especially is going for ankles and going for wrists. A lot of times you're not going to get them. But their reaction to the attempt sets you up for something so much better. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like, why were we not given this knowledge? And it's not. It's a lot of people are in that same boat.
I mean, you and I could have a total conversation on that off to the side about why we weren't given that whole information. But I think, it doesn't matter what the instructor is. It's like everybody was like that.
It's throughout jiu-jitsu. It's not one instructor that's like that. I'm just talking when I say we, I mean the editorial we. Why we as a jiu-jitsu community. Why weren't we given these tools?
And it comes down to the same closed-minded mentality of like, well, no, this is the style. This is what we do. Like, that's bullshit move. That's a bullshit move. We don't do that. It's like, well, if I'm in a fight and that's there and I know that's going to give me the upper hand in whatever the scenario is. I'm
going to end the fight fast.
I'm going to fucking do it. It's not like, you know, we're not fucking doing like just slap boxing where you're just going to slap. No, we're fighting back and forth. You're trying to choke me out. I'm trying to choke you out. Right. You're trying to break my limbs. I'm trying to break yours. Problem for you is I got a lot more different ways that I'm willing to go to hurt your like joints than you are willing to go to for mine. So
and if you don't have the knowledge and you only have, what do you have? You have the elbow, the shoulder, the neck, and that's about it.
What do you think is more important to learn?
For most people, that's about it.
Yeah. No,
And once you get to like you have the ankle too. Yeah. I should put the ankle down there, but the ankle in a certain way. Yeah. And not a knee. You know, you can't go to the knee. Yeah. Hips really aren't. It's really kind of hard to get a hip manipulation.
Or you do a banana split.
Yeah, but that's more of a groin manipulation than a hip manipulation. But it's like, you know, but like it's limited.
Do you have what you would consider like a holy grail submission? Like that's the submission that I want to be able to like get on people?
Yeah.
Huh.
You're going to laugh.
What?
It's triangles.
Because you can't get them.
I can get them, but I got to get them from the top. It's hard for me to get them
Right.
from the bottom.
Right.
Always has been. Anything from the bottom is hard for me to get. Just because of the way my body mechanics are.
Yeah. It's a
Sweeps,
lot of core.
well, it's not so much. My core is super strong. It has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
It has to do with because I'm so torso heavy. It's like it's not that my torso weighs more than my legs, but my legs are about I'd say 4 inches shorter than what they should be to match my torso.
Right.
So what happens is like trying to go, like even going inverted, I can't do it. Like when people roll back and touch their toes to the mat, my body mechanics don't allow that because I don't like. There's not enough bend.
There's not room for your body to position itself.
Right.
In that way.
So it's like a lot of the stuff from the bottom is hard, except for sweeps.
Yeah.
Sweeps I can get all day.
Yeah.
But like it's kind of hard for me. Well, arm bars I get a lot of arm bars from the bottom.
But it's still a different type of body mechanic.
It's a different.
Yeah.
Type of
I mean,
body
you deal with the limitation that your body gives you. I mean, that's part of the puzzle.
And that goes to that thing I've said a million times. How everybody has their own brand of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Like it's like even if you stay with one instructor your whole entire career, you're not going to have his game or her game. You're not going to have their game because your body's different.
Yeah.
Your mindset is different. You're a different person.
Yeah.
You're going to do things different. So that's why everybody's got, it's funny how many different logos you see out there and how many different jiu-jitsu gyms are out there.
Yeah. I saw a funny one the other day in California. I walked by a karate school and the guy was a brown belt teaching karate kids like self-defense jiu-jitsu. And I'm like, well, I can tell this guy knows some jiu-jitsu because I guess he's got a brown belt and he's wearing an inverted panda gi, like the inverted gear gis or whatever. And I don't know. I sat there and I started like watching and like I saw him looking at me watch and like you could tell that like he could tell that I was judging his jiu-jitsu. I'm like, My friend was like asking like, what are you doing? I'm like, I want to see what he's trying to teach these kids. And I was just like, really? It's one of those things. It's like trying to put into words like you got caught. You know what I mean? You got caught and someone else who knows what you were doing shows up and like you have to keep on going with it. So like if you were teaching someone some bullshit, trying to get away with it, and then somebody else who actually knows what's going on like catches you, so you're like,
Well, the other thing that's true is not all jiu-jitsu is equal.
For sure.
There are
good schools and bad schools.
Well, I wasn't even going to put it like that. There are white belts. There are blue belts that shouldn't be blue belts. There are purple belts.
There's black belts that shouldn't be black belts.
That shouldn't be black belts. So it's
I've called out a couple of them.
But even if the ones that get promoted legitimately, depending on the area you live in,
it's the best of what you got.
It's the best of what you got.
Yeah.
So like if you take somebody from Podunk, Oklahoma, where there's one jiu-jitsu school within a 300-mile radius, and you only got one place to train at, and it's not a popular sport because most people like to go to the rodeo,
right?
And doing a lot of typecasting as far as what people in Oklahoma do. But just as an example, and you only have a small pool of jiu-jitsu guys, and a lot of these guys in these rural areas, they don't have a black belt instructor. They have a purple belt, sometimes a blue belt instructor is the highest ranked there. I've seen
Ken Masters.
Ken Masters, Master Ken.
Master Ken.
But it's like, unfortunately, the guy might be a blue belt, but the bottom line is that's all they have in the area. So,
but you still got to be careful. It's not like we're talking about like the Gracie University or something like that.
Well, no, there's guys that open schools after doing the Gracie University.
I know. I know. I trust me. I've fucking called him out.
If you don't train jiu-jitsu, then you shouldn't teach
You
jiu-jitsu.
can't. You physically cannot teach someone if you've not put in the mat time.
I don't understand how the whole Gracie University works.
So you're supposed to take the online courses, right? And then
Then you take videos of yourself?
No, I think you're actually supposed to show up to like a school or something to show that like you're competent enough to do it. I think you might have to do like some videos or something like that, but yeah, like there's no physical way for you to do it. And like I said, I've called him out on it before. Everybody complained about it when it first came out. It's like, oh, this is bullshit. And even Hickson complained about it when it first came out. He's like, oh, that's bullshit. You can't do that. You can't sit there and just give someone. You can't take online courses for it. And then, lo and behold, guess who started getting a piece of it? And then I was like, oh, sign up for Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah, once you start getting a piece of it, it's a lot easier to sell, huh?
Well, and look, I don't begrudge them doing that. I don't think it's right for those people to say they're a rank of some kind or
I know that there's stipulations to it. I know that they added other like stipulations of things that you're supposed to do for you to truly like get your belt or to really say that you're that belt ranking. So at least they're working on it, I guess.
Have you seen I know this came out of nowhere. Have you seen the videos of the guys that promote themselves?
Yeah, I love that. We talked about it a long time ago.
Did we talk about
the guy that promoted himself to brown belt? Yeah. Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. And he gave such a fucking egotistical speech, too. He gave such a speech. You should pull it up. Can we put it on the mic?
I don't know.
I mean, see if you find it. But for those of you that don't know, there's a guy that came up onto YouTube about a year or two ago. And he was teaching a class. Was he a purple belt? I forget if he was a purple belt or a blue belt. He was let's say he was a purple belt.
It's the first thing that comes up.
And basically he like kneels down in front of the class and says, this is a long time coming. And, I am going to promote myself up to, or we can listen to turn that down because it's going to get taken down. Basically he says, oh, this is a long time coming and, there's no way of doing it, but I feel that I'm finally a brown belt and I should have earned this like a long time ago. So I'm going to promote myself, which is like, and you could tell he really believed his bullshit and he promoted himself to brown belt right there in front of all his students, which if it was me, I would have been like, excuse me. No, you can't hear it. It's too loud.
Hierarchy, and so I started an academy where not only would I recognize myself and my achievements or efforts, but all of us would. Okay, so no longer are you in a place where another man will evaluate, okay, now I won't be placing the belt on you. If you stay long enough to be ranked, you will place your own belt on you.
Fuck
That is
you.
a really great example.
Yeah, you can shut that. Hopefully somebody.
Wow.
It's a little low, so I apologize for that because we had it up on the mic. But fuck you, dude. Fuck you. I'm gonna do an analysis on all that video. It's like you're gonna promote yourself. Really?
Yeah.
What would you do if someone did that in front of you?
If someone
at your school?
At my school?
Yeah.
I'd laugh. And then I would put my white belts on, or whoever, depending on what rank they were. Like, say somebody came in and said, you know what, I'm a blue belt now. Oh, yeah? And then I would find a white belt, and I would make the white belt go hard on the blue belt. And the non-blue belt, the other white belt that thinks he's a blue belt,
Yeah.
I would have him go hard. And then I'd have him go with another white belt. And then I'd have him go with another white belt.
Why wouldn't you just go straight to blue belt and smash him?
Well, because that
Be like, oh, you're a blue belt? Okay. Grab your toughest blue belt and put him on him.
No, because if he survives that,
Well, if he survives the white belt.
I don't mean, look, surviving and smashing are two different things.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you get the blue belt that you know is going to smash him.
I'd rather he get beat by somebody that's not a blue belt.
I mean, I get it, but I'm saying, what if he survives the white belt?
Survives or smashes?
He survives the white belt.
It's fine to survive. I'd be like, oh, you're a blue belt? You couldn't even submit this white belt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Most blue belts I know can submit a white belt.
Right.
You can't submit them. And then I would take the belt off and I would put it in a can and piss on it. And that would be the end of that. Or as Bill says in Kill Bill, and that will be the story of you.
So would you let him stay in the school?
Yes.
And then start him from square one?
I would let him stay in the school, no problem. I don't care.
Right.
That, but I would from then on call them something that brought up the fact that they think they're,
What nickname would you give him?
I don't know. I would. It's one of those things.
Mr. Magoo?
No,
like Mr. Magoo.
That would be one of those things that came like on the fly. It'd be like somebody who thinks they're somebody, but they're not. It's like, what was that?
Someone who thinks there's somebody.
They think they're at a different level than what they are. So like, I'd find a character in a movie that was
just call him Hanato Larancha.
No.
See, that doesn't even work because he's still a black belt anyway.
He's I would call them something like what was that movie? I'd one of the characters in Spies Like Us.
Oh God.
Or you know what I'm saying? I'd find it'd be a name
of
somebody that like thinks there's somebody greater than what they are.
KGB over here.
Yeah, or something. It's just.
All right, so I got a couple of other news things before my battery dies out here. This one might touch a couple of nerves on some people. Kuwaiti grappler taps out of tournament rather than face Israeli competitor. A U.S. This article is from. I'm not even going to sit there and say the name of this news organization. Whatever. A U.S.-based Kuwaiti grappler has whipped up a media storm in his home country after he refused to compete against an Israeli in a tournament to condemn Israel's occupation of Palestine. I can't read for shit tonight, man. Abdullah Al-Anjari, 21, announced earlier this week that he was withdrawing from all American Jiu-Jitsu tournaments in the U.S. state of California after he was seeded against an Israeli competitor for his first fight in the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competition. The heavyweight blue belt said that he made the decision because of Kuwait's firm position on boycotting Israel and my own principles of not recognizing the state of Israel. He's a heavyweight blue belt. He's in my division. I'll roll with him. Let's go.
You're not Jewish.
I'm not Jewish, but I'll go ahead and make him pay a little bit of a price for being that fucking ignorant. Like, how ignorant do you have to be, bro? Like, I get it. It's a political thing, and even if it's a religious thing, go fuck yourself. You're still in the U.S. I don't give a fuck.
But you can't.
I don't give a fuck.
I can't. The problem is I can't put I'm not going to speak ill against it because I'm not in that guy's shoes. I wasn't raised in a household.
Doesn't fucking matter. You're in the U.S. You're in the U.S.
Maybe it might matter if he doesn't live here. What if he came here to
No, he lived here. He lives here. He lives in California.
You sure?
That's what it just said, bro. A U.S.-based Kuwaiti grappler.
U.S.-based. Right. For how long,
Doesn't matter, though, man. Like, that's the whole point of martial arts, too.
Well, look,
it supersedes fucking political. Look, the same thing happened in the Olympics with judo. Same thing happened.
Yeah. No, I get it. But you would think, to me, it's crazy thinking. Because you would think that you would have more motivation to beat that person. Like, instead of saying, no, I'm not doing it because of my principles, I'd be like, yeah, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
If I had a problem with, and then I would, but the problem is if you lose.
Yeah. That's why. It's like he doesn't want to risk losing, and then it's like, oh, I got beat by an Israeli.
Then you're in the wrong sport.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, go fuck yourself, dude. Keep that shit over there.
What I hope happens is I hope that he rolls with people who are Jewish and has no idea.
Oh, I'm sure it's happened.
Yeah, which I would love for that to happen.
It's like, come on, man. Like, that's the whole point of all this stuff is so we don't deal with any of that bullshit. Like, you want to keep your, like, I get it if there was, whatever's going on over there is going on over there. And a lot of people,
going on there
for, like, since the beginning of fucking time, for all I really give a shit. Like, but keep that shit over there, man. Like, There's enough people dying over that stuff. If you really feel that strongly about it, then go beat him up. Go beat up that guy in a tournament.
Well, at least be a man.
Yeah, but
Look,
don't sit there. Don't sit there and get
cause,
praised.
Look, standing up for your principles is being a man, but at the same time, you don't bridge any differences by not competing. Maybe you would earn some respect for each other. Maybe you would earn a little bit of
understanding, or like you realize you're both human beings and you're stuck in something that had nothing to do with you. You didn't decide that. Whatever, like, and I'm not gonna get into politics, but either way, fuck this guy, because at the end of the day, like, you're on the match, you're sitting there, you're competing against each other, like, about each other. It's got nothing to do with politics. It's got nothing to do with religion or skin color.
What would
or
have
nothing.
happened if he would have found out the guy wasn't from Israel?
What
What if the guy was just some guy and then?
Well, what if he had found out that, like, he, like, just rolled and that just got beat by someone who's Israeli? What's he gonna do? He's gonna kick up a storm? Or are you gonna go home and cry about it?
You're gonna cry about it.
Like, really? What are you gonna do? Like, no, man.
Well, it's not like you're gonna beat this guy because he just.
Yeah, he just whooped your ass. So it's stupid, man. Like, I read that, I got really pissed off about it because, like, I understand.
I'm not gonna get pissed off about it because, again, I'm not from that part of the world, and I understand that
It's just stupid fucking ignorant.
There's a lot of history behind.
There's a ton of history
that hate
that we haven't been around or been educated enough to know about it. Either way, that's the equivalent of an Israeli person not wanting to roll against a German person. Like,
yeah, but not even because I don't understand what Kuwait has against.
Oh, it's
Israel.
it's because of Palestine. It's
right,
like
well,
Palestine,
obviously.
Israel. So, but whatever. Either way, fuck that guy, and you can tell him I said it. Whether Shawn agrees with me or not doesn't matter. But that guy can go fuck himself.
I don't not agree with you.
You just don't want to say it.
No, it's not that I don't agree. I don't have. It's hard. It's a hard position to be in.
Look, there's only like a couple of reasons why I would refuse to like roll with someone. One is like they have really bad hygiene.
Yes.
And two, I can't trust them to control themselves and like not willingly be trying to just hurt me. Like, those are the only two reasons I would just like be like, I don't care if you're a black belt, I'm not rolling with you. Like that. Like, other than that, I don't give a fuck. It's all fair game. Let's go. Whatever, man. One last thing I got for news, and I could have sworn we talked about this. Maybe it was on the podcast or not, but Jonah Hill started jiu-jitsu, and he is decked out in shoyu roll, and a lot of people were kind of going back and forth, shitting on him for starting jiu-jitsu and being decked out in shoyu roll, including me.
Yeah, we all have this thing like white belts shouldn't wear shoyu roll. That's like a.
I never said that.
It's like a running joke.
That's on you. You can wear whatever the fuck you want.
Well, if I can wear whatever the fuck I want, why can't he wear whatever the fuck he wants?
I never said he can't wear whatever the fuck you want. I just think it's funny that you just started and you're already decked out and shoyu roll head to toe. It's like, well, all right, you got money. It's Hollywood. Meanwhile, everybody else is fighting to get those gis. How did you get it?
Nobody's fighting to get those gis anymore. Have you noticed that?
Well, I'm not anymore.
I have a theory.
What's that?
I don't know if I talked about this on
Probably not.
on the podcast, but I've talked about it at the. So I have a theory, and it's not the company itself, but the.
While you do that, while you spit your theory, I'm gonna go get a drink.
Get another one so you can burp more.
Yeah.
My theory is that gi jiu-jitsu is starting to either fall, like, not fall to the wayside, but definitely take a back seat to gi or to no gi. And the reason I believe this is because the shoyu roll drops, the gis used to sell out immediately.
Right.
One of the last one that had gi and no gi stuff for sale.
Right.
The no gi stuff sold out immediately. The gi stuff was up there for days.
You know what I say to that? It's called
oversaturation.
No, well, that and either the gi wasn't that nice looking, because if it's the one that I think that you're talking about, it really wasn't that nice looking, or they probably finally made more than the bare minimum of gis, so they had a bigger stock for them. That's all.
I just think people are over the whole shoyu roll thing. Showy Roll's whole thing, and look, I love Showy Roll, or you know, I loved Showy Roll. Not so much anymore.
Yeah.
But the thing about Showy Roll was their catchphrase was "Rebels against the mainstream."
Right.
And the problem with Showy Roll
Is there the mainstream?
they're now mainstream.
I honestly just think it's kind of like you outpriced yourself, like for a gi that kind of increasingly went lower in quality. In my opinion, I still love their products. I think they're great, but honestly, after the Want versus Need gi, like, man, like Want versus Need totally stepped the game up. And I'm sure there's other companies that I want to talk to, like the guys from Inverted Gear and a bunch of other companies I would love to hear. I have
a couple Inverted Gear. I love my Inverted Gear gis.
So
you know what I want to try? I want to try an Origin gi.
I forget who it is. I know that I'm friends with someone that worked over there or that works over there with them, so I could probably reach out to him and ask.
Yeah, I want to try and feel.
I mean, they're basic. They're just made here. That's the only difference. They're made in the U.S. They had a little bit of a gimmick a few years ago, which instead of having the rope belt, it was like a belt buckle. So it was like a harness.
Roll. Remember that one?
Yeah, that's the absolute. Nobody liked that one.
Yeah.
But it's not like a belt that you put in through the loops. It's in the actual belt line, and it's just a buckle. So they had one that was actually like a buckle that you click in, and I think now it's just like a harness that you pull or whatever. But I don't know. I don't know what they've changed it.
Yeah, I think a rope has to be the way to go, just for safety of like hard plastic digging into each other. It's like, I just, I think rope's the way to go. But Origin, they've been around for a while.
Do you remember the gi company? I forget the name. Was it Submission FC? Remember Submission FC? Submission FC was like the first company that touted the fact that they had 100% hemp gi. So like their gi was 100% hemp, and that was like their whole thing. Like, go get our hemp gi, blah blah blah. It feels so great, all this other bullshit. And then finally, someone called them out on it, and they went and they sent in a test, and they realized like the gi was only like really like 20% hemp, and the rest was just like regular canvas and polyester or whatever. So there was a whole shitstorm. So they had to go and return a ton of people's gis and like money and all this other stuff. Like they took a huge hit. I think they're still around, but they're definitely not as big.
The bamboo gis are nice. Those are nice and soft. Yeah. I like the bamboo gis.
Those are nice. Again, Inverted has some.
I like that inverted gold weave.
Yeah, those are nice. Control makes some awesome gis. Like one of my favorite gis is a Control one. I got to slim back down to wear it again though. It's kind of small.
You're having a hard time slimming back down.
I mean, I'll be honest with myself. I'm definitely not doing as much cardio as I should be doing. So I'm not lying to myself about it. It just sucks that it went up this high. I'm like, fuck, man. It wasn't even the holidays. It was before the holidays. If anything, I actually lost weight in the holidays. I went back down to 215. So yeah, whatever. I'm good. I'm in better shape now than I was when I was lighter. Maybe I just got to lift more, run more. I'll be good.
It's kind of the secret to life.
Fuck all that.
Lift more and run more.
All right. Again, let me see if I can get a good position. I'm super comfortable right now.
Yeah, if listening to this, guys, if I seem a little muted, it's because I am exhausted. Because this morning started for me at 7 a.m. yoga class for an hour and a half. I immediately hopped in my car, drove to the beach, and surfed for 3.5 hours almost. And then worked for the rest of the day. Woe is me.
Yeah.
So hard.
You're tired of your white privilege. I'm so sorry, bud.
It's not white privilege. It's just...
Well, I definitely don't have the privilege of getting to surf for 3 hours after going to yoga at working.
I wasn't working.
Well, there you go. Even better, see?
So it's more having
Let me go ahead and feel bad for you. Yeah, right?
So, yeah, I mean, it was so I'm exhausted.
I bet.
Yoga.
What time is it? Yeah, it's 10:11. We should probably wrap it up soon.
Yoga is a I've been telling everybody how it's changing my life now. As much as jiu-jitsu did.
You had a 5-minute rant about it last time.
Did I?
Yeah, you did.
See, I'm so tired I don't even remember.
No, you just like to rant.
You rant. It's definitely changing everything. And I think every jiu-jitsu person should do it. I really
For sure.
do.
I was having that conversation earlier today too. It's like you have to. There's no real excuse now. You have to do it.
The core, the strength of core that it takes to do it, and how much strength it gives you in your core is invaluable.
Yeah.
And the range of motion that you get, and I'm not going to say flexibility.
Yeah.
But range of motion, especially in the heated rooms. I've never done not heated yoga. I've only done heated yoga, but I wouldn't want to do not heated yoga.
You should go do that goat yoga.
It's outside.
Where you get little goats jumping on you.
I'm wondering how many times those goats piss or shit on
they have to.
somebody when they're up in those
They
poses.
have to. That or they make them starve until you're done with yoga, and then you get to feed them afterwards so they don't shit all over the place. But for sure, someone's got to be sitting there, and all of a sudden, like, a little goat just, like, jumps off their fucking dome, like, oosh.
Yeah, but I wonder how many people have gotten a hoof to the face.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it probably just side kicks them, like, right in their fucking
Well,
face.
no, you like, what if it just slid down them and slid right down on their face, and like a bridge
I
or
wouldn't be
something.
able to do that. I'd be like, I'm just going to come here to play
They
with
do
the fucking
cat
goats.
yoga too.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm good. You can keep your toxoplasmosis. I fucking hate cats.
Listen to this fucking germaphobe over here.
No, cats are gross, man.
You're a germaphobe.
No. I mean, I'm allergic to cats anyway.
You're always.
Look, for the first time ever, I flew with like a face mask on there to keep the germs away. I will fly like that for the rest of my life now. Because everyone else that I know that was like flying this past week all got sick.
You should wear those masks like the Chinese people do in China. Those surgical masks.
I should have when I went to South Korea, but I didn't. So for sure, I was patient zero on that flight. For sure, without a doubt in
I
my
believe
mind.
you got to put your immune system through a workout.
I mean, I have, but I got to give it time to rest. Look, that flu that hit me, what was it, in October last year, fucked me up. I was down for the count, man. I was down for like a good 5 days, like where I was just not on this earth. And then it took me 2 weeks total to feel like my normal self again, where like I knew that there wasn't anything in my body. 2 weeks. And everybody else that got sick at the same time said the exact same thing. It took that long to kind of get into it, you know?
Luckily, I didn't get that shit.
Dude, I am never getting a fucking flu shot ever again. That fucked me up.
Yeah, flu.
Like, look, I'm totally for vaccinations, but I'm not doing flu shots
Yeah,
anymore.
I've never had a flu shot. I haven't been on antibiotics since
Dude, don't jinx it. Don't jinx it because you're what, 40 now?
45.
Dude, when you hit 50, 55, and you're going to start getting sick like crazy, you're going to be like, oh, man, I used to have fucking lungs of steel. Now I'm sick every other month.
Well, that may happen. It's not that I'm jinxing it. It's just I don't do it. Like, I don't take antibiotics. I'll leave antibiotics for when I need antibiotics, when it's a life or death situation. I'm not going to just take antibiotics to get over a sickness quicker.
Well, I mean,
You know
it's
what
a
I'm
big
saying?
issue. Yeah, it's a big issue now anyway. Did you hear about the measles outbreak?
Yeah. Yeah,
You
way
people
to
are
go,
fucking up.
Way to go,
Washington.
way to go, moms that don't want
Fucking hippies.
to fucking vaccinate your kids.
30 out of the 34 recorded cases were from people who did not get vaccinated, and the remaining 4 were not verified by the time that article came out. So let's take a fucking guess as to whether or not they were vaccinated. Like, I never realized how bad that shit was until all this stuff started coming up.
Yeah, I don't look. Everyone says like the big argument is oh, my children is autistic now. My child's autistic. What are the chances if that's like your kid might have been autistic regardless? Number one. Number two, how many people? I was going to say millions.
Right.
And it's true. Millions of Americans have been vaccinated over the years. What's the rate of people that end up?
There are still some. I was reading about this a couple of weeks ago. There are still some people who get vaccinated that still contract the measles, but it's like minuscule, like one out of like thousands.
Last year was the first year that the life expectancy of Americans went down.
Well, I mean, with the way that we eat, I'm not surprised.
No, it's. I don't know if that's what it is, but it's like
Stress.
Stress. But our life expectancy has gone up every year over the last, since they started recording it. Except for last year's, the first year went down.
Did you hear about the lady that was like recorded to be like 134 years old?
No.
So, I forget the exact age, and I want to say it was in like Russia or something. This woman was like supposedly like 120, 130, whatever years old. And then this guy started doing the research, and he deduced, if you will, that woman was not really 100-something years old. She was the woman's daughter, woman's daughter, and when the mom passed away, she took over her name so she could continue receiving like the benefits, like the retirement checks and stuff.
That happens.
How fucking nuts is that?
She should have kept her mouth shut.
No, well, she died. This is like all figured out after the fact.
Oh.
Yeah, she passed away like a while ago. But that's kind of fucked up, right? How psycho do you have to be to do that?
I don't think you have to be psycho. I just think you have to be desperate.
I remember like reading an article like years ago of this like Chinese family that was collecting welfare checks for like 10 years, 15 years, of even like after the grandma passed away, and they had her body in the house. So they couldn't have a funeral or anything, obviously, because then it would have been like, oh, she's dead, you're not getting your welfare checks anymore. So they had the body in the house for like years.
Did I tell you about the mummified body in my grandmother's trailer park?
No.
So this lady nobody had seen this lady for months. And she lived with her son in the trailer park.
Right.
And the son said, never said, I forget what it was, and ended up the cops were finally called, and they went, and the room was full of
cats.
No, it was full of air fresheners.
Ugh.
The guy put air fresheners, and she was mummified. And the excuse he gave was that she said she was hibernating.
For how long?
Months.
So she told him, I'm going to go hibernate?
More or less.
And he's like, okay, Grandma.
Mom,
I'm just going to go put some air fresheners up for you.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So
how fucked up are people, man?
People are, and guess why? Guess why he didn't say anything?
Why? He was getting the welfare checks.
He was getting the welfare checks.
Oh, man. What about the lady that got stuck to the toilet? You ever heard that one?
No.
She fused with her toilet seat. I never showed you that? This lady was like refused to get out of like the toilet. Like I guess she was just fucking psychotic. So her son would feed her like on the toilet. And she had been there for months, I guess. And her ass fused to the seat.
Oh, I think I remember hearing that.
Yeah, remember that shit?
I remember hearing that and going, how do you fuse to a toilet?
Let me see. Let me pull that up while you mumble about something. Because, like...
it's funny. Is like people go, oh, man, people got to be psycho. I don't think so. I think the difference between somebody doing something crazy and irrational like that is somebody that's desperate enough to... or just like they don't have, they think they're not going to get caught. It's desperate and they're not going to get caught.
I'm opening up the article right now, and I withdraw my timeline of said amount that she was sitting on the toilet. Woman sits on boyfriend's toilet for 2 years.
Think about it, dude. If I spend
like a couple of hours in one seat.
If I spend 20 minutes on the toilet, my feet go numb.
Oh, gosh. All right. Deputies said a woman in western Kansas sat on her boyfriend's toilet for 2 years, and they're investigating whether she was mistreated. Nez County Sheriff Brian Whipple said a man called his office last month to report that something was wrong with his girlfriend. Whipple said it appeared the 35-year-old Nez City woman's skin had grown around the seat. She initially refused emergency medical services, but was finally convinced by responders and her boyfriend that she needed to be checked out at a hospital. We pried the toilet seat off with a pry bar, and the seat went with her to the hospital. Whipple said investigators plan to present the report Wednesday. She was not glued. She was not tied. She was just physically stuck by her body. It is hard to imagine. I still have a hard time imagining it myself. He told investigators he brought his girlfriend food and water and asked her every day to come out of the bathroom.
Where would he go?
To work, clearly, because he ain't doing shit.
No. I'm saying, where would he take a shit?
I'm assuming he probably either went outside or
Had another bathroom?
Could have had another bathroom, or maybe he just did it in the tub and just broke it apart. I don't know. That happens.
Poop-a-cocky.
Yeah, like, can you imagine having the toilet seat fused to your ass?
I can't imagine having anything fused to my ass.
But, like, how embarrassing would it have to be? Like, you're sitting there in a room full of strangers and they're trying to pry your naked booty hole off of a toilet seat.
No, if it's fused, they had to cut that shit off.
Yeah, but, like, her junk is just still hanging out.
No, they probably put her on her belly.
Dude, how gross. That means she didn't even bother getting up to wipe her ass.
Well, you can reach between your legs and wipe your ass.
No, if you're sitting on this toilet seat for 2 years, you're not a small person.
Yeah, well, I agree. But
Maybe she got a bidet.
How do you sleep on a toilet?
Like sitting down.
Like, do you put your feet up?
Her back's got to be fucked up, right? Like scoliosis, like a motherfucker.
The whole idea of it. Like, there's so many questions.
Right? It's
like, did she have a TV? Did she have?
Well, there was another article that was someone like fused to a couch.
That's the one I heard, not the toilet seat, the couch. It was the couch that I heard. I didn't hear about the toilet seat.
Oh, hold on. There's an update article. Let me pull this up. Woman who sat on toilet for 2 years, still very sick.
In the head?
I don't know. Let me see. A woman who may have spent nearly 2 years in the bathroom sitting in the toilet so long that the seat adhered to sores on her body remains hospitalized and in pain from medical procedures. Pam Babcock, 35, was stuck to the toilet in late February by her boyfriend, blah, blah, blah. The woman's aunt said she calls daily to the hospital to ask how Babcock is doing and asks every day to talk to her. Nothing really that says...
Just go to images.
Yeah, right. Babcock's relatives said that no family members have been allowed to see her at the hospital, that they know little of her medical condition, and that she spends most of her time sleeping at the hospital intensive care unit. Her wounds are still serious. She's not out of the woods by any means. She's a very sick girl. I mean, at the end of the day, like, that's got to be like, was it sepsis or something?
What I want to know is after, if my girlfriend or wife or whatever was on the toilet for a day, I'd be like, all right.
You got to get shit or get off the pot.
Shit or get off the pot.
Right.
If they're there for 2 days, I'm getting angry. After 3 days, if you don't get off the toilet, you're crazy. I'm going to call 911 and get you Baker acted.
I would do that. Well, I can't say anything because I've had someone break into my house and stay there for 3 days. So, yeah, I think 3 days is the mark.
3 days. Well, look, even 1 day. Dude, you're sleeping. How can you sleep on a fucking toilet?
I've fallen asleep on a toilet.
Yeah, you passed out.
No, I've fallen asleep. I was super tired. I told you this story where I ended up having laxative. I literally fell asleep pooping.
Was there a counter close enough that you could?
Yeah, there was the bathroom countertop was to the right, so I just leaned to the right. I literally fell asleep pooping.
Yeah, I mean, but shit.
But like to stay there for 2 years, there's no TV. You better have a Game Boy or something.
Yeah, I mean,
Can you imagine like back in the day?
Yeah, like how long were her toenails?
Well, she must have at least cut her toenails, right?
How?
Well, she's in the bathroom. There's got to be clippers nearby.
Yeah, but she can't. She obviously. If
She's gonna dump them in the toilet right between her legs.
she's got to reach them.
What do you mean? Oh,
She's got to reach them.
she probably could bend over by that point.
No, because if she bent over, it would rip. The seat wouldn't have been stuck to her ass.
My ass doesn't lift off if I reach.
Yes, you do. Think about it. When you try to reach your toes.
I mean, maybe the back end.
or
Sure.
even if you brought your leg up to your lap to do it, you're still lifting your leg off the toilet some. So obviously she didn't do that.
Oh man, that's what I'm saying. Like, and it's Kansas, so for sure they don't have a bidet.
No shower.
No bidet. So that's stanky.
No brushing her teeth. Well, maybe it depends.
Depends on like how much the boyfriend took care of her. He must have really took care of her if like he didn't get any jail time for
I
whatever
want to know
reason.
why she didn't. What's her reasoning?
I know there was some other article that said that she might have been like afraid to leave the bathroom, but if you're afraid to leave the bathroom,
Then get a pillow and sleep on the floor.
I don't know. Even then, that's kind of gross. It's the bathroom.
Hey, look, if you're afraid to leave it, at least make yourself comfortable.
Man, that's so gross. Like, what do you... How, like, there's no fresh air. Someone's got to clean the bathtub at some point, because that means you don't clean your bathtub ever, or the sink, or any of that stuff. Someone's got to be cleaning it. What if he, like, sat on her lap to poop? She's like, he's like, just spread your legs a little bit. I'll sit over here and poop.
Maybe he human centipeded her.
Oh, that's so gross.
Yeah.
Oh man, you know what was before we take off, I was having a conversation the other day. You don't see arcades anymore like back in the day, right? You get like Dave and Buster's, and I went with my friend to go and like pay for stuff at like CVS, and they gave her change, but she had quarters. I was like, "You're just gonna leave the quarters there?" I was like, "What am I gonna do with quarters?" I'm like, "What?" Those, remember, like back in the day, those were gold. Those are more than gold.
Quarters were as good as dollars.
Like, no, quarters were worth more than gold back in the day because you knew, okay, I at least get one game out of that 25 cents or 50 cents.
How old were you when you moved here?
7.
To Florida?
Yeah.
Do you remember the arcade in the Cross County Mall?
No, I didn't go there.
You didn't want to go
I
there.
remember the very first major arcade that I've ever been to. And it was in Colorado, in the mall. And it was like at a weird different level. And I remember it because in the middle of the arcade, they had this giant thing set up, like a virtual reality kind of thing, straight out of fucking Tron. You sat in there, you had to put on a seatbelt, and it spun 360. You had a screen right in front of you. And obviously the whole point was like to shoot stuff or whatever. It's like a spaceship. But it spun around in all different areas. It was the coolest thing I had ever fucking seen at the time.
Yeah, we used to have, in the Cross County Mall, we had a rad arcade. And one day, I went there with $20 in hopes of beating Dragon's Lair.
Good luck with that.
Didn't happen.
Yeah, you need a couple $100 for that.
No, my buddy's brother did it on like $6.
Yeah, you have to have everything memorized for that.
He had everything memorized.
Yeah, for people that don't know what we're talking about, if you ever want to see the most annoying and frustrating game probably of all time, Dragon Slayer.
It was fun. I liked it.
Yeah, but it was kind of like,
and there really wasn't anything you could do. All you could really do was like left, right, up, down, and then there was
like
sword.
A button, yeah, sword. Button.
So it was like there was another game that was similar to that. Now and yeah,
that one came out for the 3DO.
But they these were cartoon games.
Yeah.
By Don Bluth. The two were Dragon's Lair and Space Ace. Mm-hmm. And then there was another one that came out. It was called Gunslinger, and it just had one button that was fire.
Yeah, it was just timing.
You had to time that. Still to this day, my two favorite games are the Star Wars, where you're like in an X-Wing fighter, and it's like lines. It's not so much
X-Wing Rogue Squadron.
No.
Where there was just... Oh, you're talking about the original Star Wars game.
Star Wars game, the Star Wars video game. And then I like the one that came out probably about 15, 20 years ago, where you could, like... you go through like Hoth, like you go to different, and then after you beat whatever, then you like have to duel one of the bad guys or the good guys.
Oh, that was the one we played at the arcade like a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's like you had like a joystick.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could fight Darth Vader if you wanted
Right,
to.
and
Yeah.
Boba Fett. I love those.
Those
I love
games are
those
good.
games.
No, hands down. And honestly, like I want to see if I can get the creator to come on the podcast. My 2 all-time favorite games are Secret of Monkey Island and Metal Gear Solid. Obviously, I'm not going to get Hideo Kojima to be on here, but the guy from
That's video game. Is that
Video game.
I'm talking arcade game.
arcade games. I would honestly say my favorite arcade games were probably the Formula One game. It was like virtual racing. Like I loved that one. And X-Men. That original X-Men arcade game.
Oh yeah,
Wolverine. That 4-person. It was Wolverine, Storm, Beast, and
Colossus?
Cyclops.
Cyclops. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was like almost cartoon like.
Yeah, it was super cartoony.
And like Wolverine had like a berserker attack where he would just slice.
Yeah. Cyclops had the giant beam. Oh, I take that back. You know what? X-Men versus it was Capcom versus
Marvel.
Yeah. The original one. The very original one. That was the shit. That one was awesome. All right, let's wrap this up, bud. It's 10:30. I want to get some sleep tonight. You got anything to say before? You never gave me any kind of what I learned.
Yeah, fuck it. I learned right now that if I'm going to
surf for 3 hours.
Surf for 3 hours and do yoga, I shouldn't do it on a Tuesday.
Or do what I do, take a power nap.
Yeah, I did not.
Lunchtime power naps are the best. All right, I'll let you go to sleep. All right, everyone, thank you very much for tuning in. If I remember any other crazy stories from LA, I'll be sure to tell you guys next week. In the meantime, go check out our sponsors, Giraffe Choke, Choke Aloha, Jiu-Jitsu Soap Co., and, of course, our friends over here at Nomad Surf Shop. Be sure to follow Shawn at Gorilla Boy BJJ. Follow me at Sonder Marketing and follow the podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast. Say what's up to everybody. And other than that, you got anything else to say?
Yeah, good night.
Good night, guys. Love you guys.
Night.
Peace.